Anyways, let me focus. So Obsession, damn, it was scary. I really liked it. I recommend watching it. I'm not an expert on breaking down movies or nothing. I even have my list of notes here. I just want to yap about my thoughts. Sorry, God. So let me start with let me just jump right into it, guys. First, I want to talk about the friendships. I don't even think that's what the movie was even meant to focus on. I don't think the moral of the story is about friendships, but I'm a very friendship oriented person. I don't have much family. The family I do have, I'm not super close with them. So the closest thing I have to family is my found family, which is my friends. So I take friendships very serious. So I always pay attention to how friendships play out in shows and movies. And the friendships in this movie, shit, y'all were never friends. I was reading comments and I think someone said, oh, these were people who were just friends because of proximity, because they worked together, because maybe they went to school together. Like, that's why they were friends. They weren't friends because they actually had interests and they're actually drawn to each other and had deep down care for each other. Maybe to some extent they did, but the care was not deep enough. Okay? I'm just reading my notes. So this friend group did not genuinely care about each other. No one actually ever stepped in to help Nikki. Even after they started thinking something's wrong with her, she's having like a mental collapse, like it seems like she's on drugs. They never talked about her drug use and extent. So I don't know if she was like addicted to Molly or just took it for fun or whatnot. Cause like they talked about how she's done it in the past, and even she was like, oh yeah, like I was just on drugs. Sorry, I was just on drugs. You know, even when they thought it was just drugs, I feel like y'all didn't intervene the way real friendships would. Like, I feel like if I was tweaking like that and my friends thought it was just mental collapse, drugs, I feel like someone would do more than what any of these people did. Okay? Because I feel like people are going to talk about how, oh, well, Ian told him in the car, like, it feels like you're taking advantage of her. She's going through something. She's lying. That was not enough. Okay, maybe if that were me, I'd have a conversation with my friend and say that. And then after I see my friend continue, I feel like I still would have been like, let me come in. We need to talk to Nikki. Let's pull her aside. Let's go get her help. Y'all hardly did anything. And even Sarah herself wasn't, it didn't seem like she was actually concerned about Nikki. She was more so concerned about Bear, which is not a problem. Because, you know, from the outside looking in, like, I can see how you'd be concerned about Bear. But I still feel like it wasn't in Nikki's best interest. No one like was prioritizing how something is wrong with Nikki. We know her, she's our friend. This is not how she acts. This is not something she would do. Because I think I was putting in here, we all think she's having a mental breakdown. She's lying and not telling the truth about her dad and whatnot. She's not been home. She's suddenly attached to Bear, and she has a past of drug use. This is not cause for action from the friend group. All right. Y'all failed Nikki, okay? No one tried to call her family. No one called 911. I don't know. Just wrong. Even at that party, right? I think that whole situation was so odd. So she's at the party tweaking. Everyone is just looking at her like, that's all y'all do? That's all the reaction? I feel like my friends would have pulled me aside. Matter of fact, cut the music. Everybody be quiet. We need to talk. Everybody who's not close friends with Nikki, go home. We need to talk. I feel like that's what my friends would do. And that's what I would do if it was my friend in this situation. Okay, and then especially that whole her frowning, pulling the chair. Not Sarah Deadass sitting in the chair. I mean, that situation was odd because why did they look like they were even going to contemplate that? Because even aside from Nikki tweaking, say she was just being normal. Let's say you were just sitting next to your friend Bear and you got this car. Was you deadass going to kiss Sarah, who is also friends with your girl? Sarah, your girl, is his girlfriend. Y'all was going to kiss? So on top of that being weird, she is also currently tweaking where y'all deadass gonna kiss when y'all know Nikki's acting crazy right now. And then when Nikki came and pulled Sarah out the way to kiss, why did no one say, hey, so what's going on? This is weird. And then when the original Nikki, poor OG Nikki, jumping out of her skin like, what the fuck is happening? And bashing her head, why did everyone sit there talking about some, Bear, take her to the hospital, take her to the hospital? Let's all take her to the hospital. We can all take her to the hospital together. Sorry, y'all. I'm still watching The Walking Dead. I need to film a video on that again. We can all go to the hospital together. We can all call 911, call for an ambulance together. Because y'all letting Bear be the only one to take her to the hospital when Bear's also in shock. No one immediately grabbed her. Why would the whole friend group, why would all three of y'all not go with him, make sure she's okay, sit at the hospital with her, make sure she's okay? Why did Bear not actually go inside with her? I need to know who he was talking to, because that's my thing. Usually when I do videos like these, it's like I watched the movie more than once. I only watched it once. I watched it last night, so I may or may not be missing some details, especially because I was closing my eyes because some of that shit was scary. But why did Bear not take her into the hospital? It seems like he was outside talking to a nurse. Other people said he was outside talking to Ian. Ian did not go with them. I did not see Ian go with them. That didn't look like Ian, because I only saw Bear get out the car and then talking to someone who seemed like came out the hospital. Why did you not go inside and just take her there and be like, hey, look, she's injured. She's clearly bleeding, probably glass on her face, cut up. Why did the nurse not take her inside? I want to know what Bear said. Why y'all had that moment silent with just music? I want to know what Bear was telling them people. Because even if y'all don't think something's wrong with her, just seeing how she acted loopy out the car, you could have been like, hey, she's been acting weird, she's on drugs, she's been drinking, she literally cut up her face. She clearly needed stitches. They didn't even put no gauze on her face, wipe her down. What did Bear say? Why did they not go into the hospital? Why did the friend group not go all together to the hospital? Especially with how Bear is clearly taking advantage of the situation. And even Ian, you said that Bear is acting weird. Why would we not all go to make sure she actually gets treatment? I don't know. So this segment of the video was just talking about just the friendships alone. And pause on that. Pause on that. Let's talk about the other two individually. Ian, you might not be as terrible as Bear, because let me get this straight, because I feel like some people talk about how Bear's the victim. Bear's not the victim. I don't give a damn about Bear. Okay? Bear, F you, Bear. I'm trying to cuss less, especially on the internet. F you, Bear. F you. Ain't no damn way. What? Anyways, but Ian though, we not letting you slide. Ian, you're not a good person. So you mean to tell me this whole time you've been having a sexual relationship with Nikki on the low? At some point, Bear tells you, damn, like, I'm in love with Nikki. Like, I really like her. I think I should confess my feelings. Why in that moment did you not be like, ooh, I'm sorry, but this is kind of awkward, but me and Nikki, we're not necessarily together, but we got like a thing going on. I don't know if that's a good idea. Instead of saying that, you got this boy practicing embarrassing himself, cringy, romantic lines and shit, and then you're discouraging him instead of just telling him, no, you shouldn't do that, because I know for a fact she's not interested in you because she's messing with me. We're messing around on the low, so you should move on. Or if you do say something, don't expect anything out of it. Like, just be truthful and straight up with her, because me and her are messing around. It's probably not going to go anywhere. I'm sure this sucks to hear from your friend, but me and her have had this situation well before your feelings. Or even if it wasn't before your feelings, before I knew about your feelings, we've been having a sexual relationship. Something like that. Instead you got him embarrassing himself. You're like steering him in the wrong direction, telling him, all you got is time. Insult her playfully. What? Ian? What? I don't know. And then, once again, back to the friends thing. That night, that first night after they left the bar, I think it was I immediately noticed that she was asking literally anyone but Bear to take her home. If you ask Ian once and he said, oh, I'm not ready to go home, I'm going to still go hit the bars. I think she asked Sarah, why would the next step be not asking Bear? But she just kind of went back to Ian like, please, like, I really don't want to keep going out. And Ian's like, come on, like, let's just keep going. And it was Bear who had to offer and be like, I'll take you home. And that's when she was like, okay, like, I feel like if it was me, I'd go down the list of friends like, oh, can one of y'all take me home? Like, I really don't want to continue drinking. Like, I want to go home and sleep. She didn't even think to ask Bear. I wonder if she was never, like, genuinely super comfortable with Bear. Because I feel like if this friend group was genuine, pure, and close, after Sarah turned down, I would have just tried to be like, Bear, are you still trying to go out? Do you mind dropping me home? Bear had to offer and be like, well, I could take you. I don't think she wanted to get in a car with him. Anyways, sorry, let me check my list again. I think that was it for that situation. I don't know, but yeah, Ian, that was odd. I feel like there were too many times, because also I think that's what I was gonna say in this situation. Ian, if you see she's clearly doesn't seem 100% comfortable with Bear, why would you not just offer to take her home? I don't know. I just feel like Ian, maybe they were having sex, but I don't think Ian also genuinely cared for her either. It seems like he did care a bit, because he was even looking into what she said about her dad, because in his mind he knows, like, I know that her and her dad are not close, so even if he was sick, I don't think she would care. So he did some snooping and then called to tell Ian. But I feel like they never showed us Ian calling Nikki and hitting her up like, hey, like, we were just having a sexual relationship not too long ago. What's going on? Or like pulling up to the house and be like, hey, can I talk to Nikki? Like, I don't know. I feel like this is weird. Nothing. Yeah. No. What's next in my notes? Ian is also not a good friend to Sarah because I think he was telling Sarah's business, or like, I don't remember. It just seemed like it seemed like maybe Ian knew Sarah liked Bear, and not that he should have exposed that, but I feel like them two should have intervened with this whole Nikki and Bear situation. Let's talk about Sarah. So Sarah, seemed like you and Nikki were close. Y'all all work at the music store. Seems like you have feelings for Bear. Personally, I don't see why you would still have feelings for Bear after seeing his treatment with Nikki. But it makes a bit of sense because in her mind, she's not really noticing like the way Ian is, that it seems like Bear's taking advantage of the situation. Maybe because she likes him, she just has like tunnel vision on like, look how this is affecting you. She's taking advantage of you. She's being rude with you, but not being like, I feel like Bear is also being rude with Nikki. Like, these are both my friends. Nikki told me herself that she sees Bear as more of like a family member, more of like a little brother. Like, you know, she's just close to him. She doesn't like him like that. But now they're acting strange. Why would this not alter your opinion of Bear? Because even later on, she's still trying to talk to him. Like, it's kind of flirty in the car. And mind you, I'm not blaming her for her death. I full-heartedly believe she did not deserve that. OG, Nikki, and Sarah, neither of them deserved that outcome. I'm not saying Ian deserved his outcome. I just don't necessarily care about what happened to him because he was also not a good person. But Sarah did not deserve her outcome. OG Nikki did not deserve her outcome. I hate that for both of them. But Sarah, I think I wrote here, Sarah, why did Bear's treatment of Nikki not turn you off? I feel like I would stop liking Bear after seeing the way he's treating Nikki. So she's clearly incapacitated. She's not herself. Yet he's still taking advantage of this romantic situation just because he likes her, but he knows OG Nikki don't like him, and you know OG Nikki don't like him, and you know this version of Nikki is not being true to herself. Instead of pulling Nikki aside, you're telling Bear you're being taken advantage of. All right, Sarah. I don't know. And Sarah was also the only person, because at that bar they made a toast to Sandy, because they were like, oh, what should we toast to? And then Bear was like, oh, toast to Sandy. And then right after that, Ian and Nikki ran off. It was Sarah who stayed behind, like, what happened to Sandy? Sandy, your cat? And she was the one who actually comforted him and like even noticed those details. And this is not to say, because I think a big part of this movie too is like unrequited love, unreciprocated feelings. I think what people wanted was for Bear to notice Sarah's feelings and then start focusing on her instead of the unrequited feelings from Nikki. No, because I still don't feel like that would have been a healthy dynamic either. What I would have rather happen would be Bear be like, damn it, she doesn't like me. That sucks and that makes me so sad. I'm just going to take some space and get over that, you know, heal from my cat being dead and just kind of like move on. Oh, Sarah likes me. Let me give that some time because I don't think I genuinely have feelings for her right now, but maybe that'll build over time. I just really need to take some space to heal from everything going on. That's what I would have wanted. Then would have wanted Sarah to be like, damn it, it seems like Bear is too focused on Nikki. It doesn't seem like he's reciprocating my feelings. Let me move on and just focus on work and getting into school. And, you know, if he comes around, great. If not, then, you know, oh well. That's how you deal with unrequited love, unreciprocated feelings. It happens. It's part of life. It's part of rejection. Just because you like somebody, don't guarantee they gonna like you back. You should not continue to pine and do all this weird shit, all this toxic shit, making weird ass wishes. Incorrect. No. I think that's all I have to say on Sarah. I'm very sad about her death. Also, if it was me, once again, I'm not done talking about Sarah, because at that party, after I see this whole crazy instance breakdown of Nikki literally bashing herself in the face after pulling me away from kissing Bear, who I would not have been wanting to kiss anyway, since he's clearly in a weird toxic relationship right now, I would not later than that night be like, come meet me at the park. I'm not blaming her for her death, but where did you get that idea that that was a good idea? And then Bear, you playing. So not you know Nikki's crazy. because of you, and you still gonna go meet, like, what did you think was gonna happen? You damn near set that girl up. And then once again, like I said, these people not really friends, because I understand shock. I don't want to act like I don't understand shock, but why you let her bash that girl's head in so many times? He'd even reach her, try to block her head. Nikki, no, no screaming, no nothing. And you see that, and you let her come open your door and touch you. The way I'd be so genuinely afraid of this girl ever getting close to me again, you gonna come let her hug you, and then you dead ass gonna help her drag Sarah's body out of the car. And so when he went running around and he ran back to that crystal shop, instead of running to the police, instead of running to the police, granted, I get it. I know if it's gonna be like, well, what could the police do? I don't know, but it just shows like you're not trying to take the right measures to fix this. Because I'm sure he knows he'd be found guilty too, so he doesn't want to involve law enforcement. He'd rather just adjust the wish. What? Sarah did not deserve that shit. Okay, let me see. Back to my notes. So I want to say it was Bear that had the original obsession. I know this movie is about Nikki's obsession and this forced obsession that he kind of forced upon her, but Bear was the one who initially had the obsession. That in the movie, after that first night when he went to the computer to look up like, oh, like, does this thing actually work? We see in the search bar, like, the past search history, he'd been researching some odd stuff for a while. So he was researching like his grandma's meds and whatnot. Okay, cool. And then some weeks ago, it shows that he's been researching how to make a girl like you. Something about how to get out the friend zone. I didn't see it exactly. I'm gonna find like a screenshot. Hopefully someone took a picture of the search history, and I'll like put it here so you can see that he's been like searching stuff about these feelings that he's had about Nikki for a while. They show us earlier him looking through her Instagram, which that's not inherently weird. I don't want to make it seem like, oh, you can't go through your crush's Instagram. Like, even people, I don't have crushes on my friends. Like, I'll go and re-look at their posts. Like, my friends are so beautiful. Let me go through their pictures again. That's not inherently odd, but that coupled with weird search history, practicing how you're going to say your feelings, getting her a gift, but then not actually giving it to her. A lot of this could have been solved if that night you just gave her the wish thing. You'd be like, hey, look, I know your crystal broke. I was going to go, like, get you another necklace because I know how much you like that necklace, but, I got distracted at the shop and I just got, this is just a cute little collectible. Like, I don't know if it actually works, but if you want to make a, little wish, maybe about like, a wish for, inspiration for your writing, you just want to keep it as a collectible, because it seems like you like this kind of stuff, given that you have a crystal necklace, like, here's this as a gift, Instead of giving it to her, he makes that weird ass wish. So you were the one with the original obsession, because it seems like in that moment he kind of realized, oh, she does not like me. The way she was asking, like, tell me right now if you like me. Do you like me? I think he kind of knows the looming rejection. We hear her go inside. We hear her open and close the door. Instead of just driving up and like, damn it, like, that sucks. Like, my heart is broken. Like, he goes, I wish Nikki loved me more than anyone else in the world. That's weird. Even, let's say that none of this even came true. You even uttering those words to me is very, very odd. Because that's such a toxic, like, you want a toxic connection. So you want her to love you more than anyone else in the world. This is including over herself. And we can see that because someone who loves themselves and loves you would not act this way. She was loving him and obsessing over him to her own detriment. Standing there, shitting on herself, peeing on herself, throwing up on herself, hurting herself in the name of love for him, because she dead ass loves him over everything else, including herself. Theoretically, you would, if you actually care about someone, you want a genuine, healthy connection. So you want them to respect themselves, love themselves, as well as respecting and loving you. She completely threw herself to the wayside to completely focus on you, because that's what you wished for. You could have wished for, damn, like, I wish Nikki reciprocated my feelings. I wish Nikki felt the way about me the way I feel about her. No, you wish she loved you more than it. And I don't even think at this point he loved her. I think he just really, really liked her. I think he just really, really liked her. So you want her feelings for you to even exceed what you feel about her. And then I think I wrote in here that Bear never actually cared about Nikki herself. Maybe he was trying to, maybe to an extent he liked her personality, but even after she stopped acting like herself, because theoretically you like her for her. Yes, you like her even after she wasn't acting like her genuine, authentic self. he was still basically using her as a Nikki sex doll. Like, still sleeping with her, still going on dates, and still engaging in all this craziness. And it's not actually Nikki. Meaning you never actually cared about the real her. Okay, this was probably always about appearances. Maybe, he liked her personality to an extent. Maybe he didn't know much about her and he liked her, but she really liked how she looked. But I feel like the second someone isn't acting like who you fell in love with, who you built attachment and attraction to, wouldn't you take a step back? Like, hey, like, Nikki, I liked you because of the way you carried yourself, because of your interests, but it doesn't seem like you're that person anymore. We should have a conversation about, like, what changed. Like, that was kind of what attracted me to you. No. Once you realize, oh, this is definitely not really Nikki, and you kept engaging with that, Bear was not right. Ben knew Bear was crazy. That's insane. So this means you never cared about her for real. You never genuinely cared about her. You never did. You never did. Ain't no way. Especially when after and a big part of this movie also is consent. You cannot force anyone to be with you. I'm sorry. You shouldn't. You should want something genuine. You should want something real. You should want a situation where they're enthusiastically and full-heartedly wanting to be with you. That's not what this was. Because that night when obsessed Nikki was sleeping and OG Nikki woke up and was like, please kill me. Please release me from this. Please let me go. Please set me free. He goes, is it really so bad being with me? Is it really that bad being with me? I don't remember exactly what, but something along those lines where, it should, like, you would rather die than be with me. Yes, she would rather die than be with you because this is not real. She's literally trapped in herself, witnessing herself do things she would never do, say things she would never say, and obsess over you the way she never would. She had her own life. She had a whole ass life, desires, dreams, things that she wanted to accomplish, and she did not like you like that. And that's okay. But you dead ass being offended, knowing that she's trapped, okay? Because, at this point now we realize, OG, it's not like OG Nikki died and real Nikki is not here anymore and obsessed Nikki took over. No, they're both here. She's just trapped and can't control herself. That's suffering. That's insane work, okay? And instead of reacting accordingly, you're like, oh, is it really that bad being with me? You'd rather be dead than to be together with me? Bear, you're evil. Bear, you're a coward. Bear, you just wanted attention and love by all means necessary, regardless of what she wanted. So she didn't even consent to this level of attachment to you, and you're reveling in that. Even though obsessed Nikki is scaring you. Even though, are you really happy with obsessed Nikki? Is this really what, I'm starting to feel like this is really what you wanted. Because at this point, being like, okay, I'm clearly not happy. She's acting very crazy. She's feeding me my own cat. She's moving on. She's doing weird shit in the shadows. She's always screaming. This is very volatile. I'm not happy when I come home. Okay, she's hurting herself. Later on, she starts hurting other people, and OG Nikki is begging you to stop this. Go on ahead and end it. But no. You'd rather live in this turmoil to keep the shell of Nikki by your side than end it. Oh, honey, that's crazy. Bear was the obsessed one. Bear was, because Nikki's only obsessed against her will. You, on your own will, was originally obsessed with Nikki. Okay? Oh, that's insane work. And then I was saying, I wrote here that he didn't even care for obsessed Nikki. Like, he didn't even care that much about her. This whole thing was just about how he likes that he feels wanted, desired, and needed, and all that stuff. That's what he likes, how obsessed Nikki is making him feel. But even the actual frame of Nikki, he didn't care for. In what world do I come home and I see my friend, my lover, whatever, shat on themselves, peed on themselves, threw up on themselves, and I'm not helping them clean up? I understand being scared and shocked in that moment. Like, I feel like his reaction was valid, but never once throughout this whole movie did we ever see him, like, actually take care of even obsessed Nikki. Aside from having sex, which that scene was freaky as hell. That might be the scariest scene in the movie. Her eyes glazed over and her voice not matching the facial expression was so wild. And you being so oblivious, Bear? You that oblivious? No, you're not oblivious. You know. You wasn't looking. You didn't look at her face not once. Ooh. No, that was wrong. That made me. I felt so sick. You a rapist, and I know people are like, "Are you on the internet about that?" If you know the OG original Nikki would never want to do this with you, and maybe right now at this point you're not sure what's going on with Nikki, but you know when Nikki's in her right mind, she wouldn't do this, and you proceeding to have sex with her. You wrong. You was literally just searching up side effects of Molly and shit, the symptoms. So you kind of think that she's under the influence because you know she's not acting like herself. Okay, you're not completely sure. She seems mentally unstable. Okay, right now you're still under the impression that, oh, she's acting all upset and all like this because her dad is dying or something. So right now, allegedly, you think she's going through a lot, and you're still having sex with her when she's clearly not in her right mind. And then I made that a point too to the friend I was watching the movie with. His like not obsession, but like the way he always gets so hyped up when he thinks someone is accusing him of like SA was wild. You know, and I always find that so interesting whenever men's first reaction is like, well, I didn't do anything. Not like, hey, are you okay? So when that first night, when she's in his bed, taking off her shirt, kissing on him, and then OG Nikki flings herself across the room, instead of being like, oh my God, are you okay? Like, what's going on? Did I hurt you? He's like, you kissed me. I didn't do anything. You did that. Okay. And I understand having that be a concern because she did kiss him, so he's probably like, whoa, what's going on? Instead of wrapping it up and being like, okay, this is weird, you know, I don't think this is right. I'll go sleep on the couch. I'll sleep on the floor. I'll sleep in the living room. And he did eventually move to the floor, but eventually he got back to them. You know, it's just like, no. And then later on when she comes to the door and she's like, I'm not saying that you did anything. And he's like, what are you accusing me of? I didn't do anything. And she's like, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying you didn't do that. You can see all he's worried about is like not having that label, not having that title of being an essayer or being someone taking advantage of someone else. But deep down, that is what you're doing though. That is what you're doing. That is what you did. You know? So you're so worried about it not appearing that way. And he was so offended when Ian was like, it's like seemed like you're taking advantage of her. He's like, what? No, I'm not. Da-da-da. Take a step back and actually look at the situation. Okay, even you might not be intending to assault this girl, but just because that's not what you're intending to do doesn't mean that's not what you're doing. She's not in her right mind, and everybody can tell that, and you still doing to do with her. No, it don't even seem like you're checking up on her during sex either. What's going on? He was too focused on that aspect for me. You too focused on not seeming like an essayer. You too focused on not seeming like you're taking advantage of her, but you're not focused on the fact that you are inherently taking advantage of her because you know she's not in her right mind. Even if she's coming on to you, even you know she's not in her right mind. So you continuing, you are SAing her. You ain't fooling nobody. Not even yourself. Oh, that was insane. Yeah, so I was talking about how he never cared for her. So like, yeah, in that moment, it doesn't seem like he's trying to cater to her needs either in bed. You're not even checking up on her, making sure she's enjoying this. When she was puking, shitting, and peeing on herself, you wasn't trying to wipe her down. You wasn't trying to, obviously, like, I understand the disgust and the fear. But even later on, when she bashes her head, so the hospital won't take her in. I don't know what you said to them, but won't check on her. The next day, that night, she's still all bloody. So we didn't even see a scene of him trying to patch her up, of him cleaning up her face and putting a Band-Aid on. Instead, you just think about how crazy she's acting. You don't want to sleep with her in the bed. So you didn't even care for obsessed Nikki either. You didn't care for OG Nikki, not genuinely. And you also genuinely don't care for obsessed Nikki. Because I noticed that not once did he was even like taking care of her body, just in the sense of like trying to patch her up, trying to clean her up, nothing. Okay, interesting. What else? I think that's all I put for that. So I'm gonna just freeball it. That whole scene when he called that wish thingy in the car. And that scene wasn't funny, but the way that voice was talking to me was hilarious. And I was telling my friend, I was like, I think it sounds like whoever was on the phone was the same guy that was in the shop, because their cadence, like the way they sounded, and even that humor was the same. The way they were talking, but the way he was like, would you like to reverse your wish? And the way he's like, no, not reverse it, just adjust it. You're not shit. What do you mean you don't want to reverse the wish? You just want to adjust it, make her less crazy. So you don't even want OG Nikki to come back. You don't want OG Nikki to have her life back. You just want current obsessed Nikki to be less scary. That's it? Oh, you're so shitty. My heart fell. That made me so sad. I was like, maybe at this point in the movie, he's gonna be desperately trying to get her back to normal. No, he did not do that. He was not desperately trying to get her back to normal. Oh, that was insane. Damn. And then so you hear Nikki, OG Nikki screaming, crying, fighting for her life. Okay. Because it seemed like she was just always fighting to try to take back control. So she's fighting for her life. That scares you, so you hang up. So later on, when Nikki's begging for you to kill her, I feel like for me, first of all, I would never do no shit like this. But let's say somehow I was in this situation. I feel like when she's begging me to kill her, I would remember the way she was screaming in agony and being like, oh, like she's aware of everything going on. She's trapped here. She's trapped within herself, can't control anything, and is forced to witness this, and is forced to live like this. And instead you're like just offended that she don't want to be with you. Her being with you entails her suffering. The way she was screaming, she's just doing that the whole time, trapped in her own body, screaming, fighting for her life. That's the life you want to subject her to for the rest of her life? What? Man, he pissed me off. He really did piss me off. So finally, you know, after Sarah is killed, instead of going to the police, he goes to the crystal shop. And I just feel like, you know, I guess I understand why they do this in movies. And I guess in real life, there are people like this too. But it would, like, the bystander effect be so wild in these movies. Like, at the party, like, I'm imagining if I was at a party like this, and let's say I'm at the bar or I'm sitting somewhere else, and I see that whole thing break out with Nikki and her bashing her face, though I would have been calling 911. No one, everybody sat there frozen. No one even tried to, like, grab her to stop her. You know? They just let her bash her face in. And then was just screaming at Bear to go to take her to the hospital. Bystander effect. It was too many people in there. That weirdness was going on for too long for everyone to just have been sitting there. What? Ain't no way. And then, so Bear running the shop all bloodied. There's a customer there. He's like, what the hell? And then we see that he leaves. You didn't call 911? You didn't go get the police? And then the guy at the counter, this man is in front of you covered in blood, talking about a wish. Nothing tells you, ooh, child, let me call the police. This is weird. Nobody asking enough questions. I get it. Everybody want to mind their own business. It's a movie, but it would have been nice if they had at least one character expressing a little bit more concern. I did like that one customer in the store was like, what the hell? Like, whoa. You know, but it would have been cool to see him, like, calling the police or being like, I'm going to call the police. And then he runs out something. Because why everybody here act like we don't have emergency services for stuff like this? Now, I'm not saying emergency services are always good in these situations. No, but, I mean, better than nothing. Sure, you wouldn't be able to explain anything, but she's clearly a danger to herself and others. This is what I'm saying. So you don't even care about her either. You don't even care about her hurting herself. You don't care about her hurting your other friends. After that whole Sarah situation, you should have been at the police station. I would have rather see you stuttering, trying to get your point across, trying to get these people believing you, than see you not trying to get emergency services, emergency help. That was wild. And unfortunately, very accurate. Okay? Yeah. That would absolutely happen in the real world. Good God. Just, and then once again, Ian just stupid. So he comes to you bloody. Why are you not asking, hey, why are you covered in blood? What is that? You're not even listening to the man. So he's clearly in a crazed state, trying to explain something to you. And you kikiing. Oh, that was so annoying. He literally said, don't go to the house. You go to the house and not with help. If it was me, You know, and I kind of get that situation. That was annoying, him like breaking the stick over like a dumb wish. But you know, I get it. This sounds outlandish. You don't believe it, whatever. But I would have at least, you know, humored him. This is my friend. He's clearly tweaking. He's talking about Nikki, a girl that I was telling him it seems like he's taking advantage of. She's not in her right mind. Clearly something's wrong. I've been sleeping with her, so I kind of know that this is not how she actually acts. I would have indulged him. Oh, you want me to make this with you? Okay, I don't believe it, but I wish Nikki, and be like, see, nothing happened, you know? But you seeing how upset and how crazed he is and still wishing for something dumb, which I guess theoretically is not dumb. If I got that stick outside of this situation, I would be like, I wish for infinite money. Just joking, you know? But then instead of, after that happened, being like, let me also call the police, because my friend just came in here covered in blood talking about some weird shit. I think they're both in that house tweaking. Let me call the police. I feel like my first thought would have been like, Bear, did you kill Nikki? Why are you covered in blood? Like, he did not call you. Instead, you dead ass go to the house. What? You don't hear all that screaming? Hell no. Hell no. And then Nikki taking Sarah's body. How did you even get Sarah's body to the house? Bear helped you drop Sarah off at the music store, which is crazy. And then he drove off. The way I would have driven off a cliff. Anyways, how did Nikki tiny self get Sarah's body to the house without anyone seeing? And then you further mutilate and humiliate poor Sarah's dead body by stripping her, have her propped up, drawing her tattoos on your body, and poor OG Nikki is inside that brain watching her friend get mutilated like this. That is so sad. That is terrible. And then once again, Bear just being a further useless scum of the earth, going there, can't even shoot himself. You caught this. You caused all of this. What? And then taking the pills, and then the way he was about to throw the pills up. So you was going to deadass just resort to living like this? Your friends are dead. How was this gonna work though, Bear? I don't think he was thinking that through. Okay, so let's say you don't kill yourself. Now you're trapped with Nikki. Y'all still gonna get found out by the police. So what's the plan here? So he was about to throw up the pills. Thank goodness, I don't know what, I think the wish she made was that, like, he loves me more than anyone else in the world. Same thing. Okay? And then finally, the meds kick in and kill him. And thus undoing the wish, or breaking the wish, or whatever. And I want to know, what's poor Nikki gonna do? Because Nikki is not aware of the $1 billion at Ian's house. My hope would be that she, like, runs to Ian's house for help. And then runs and stumbles on the money. But I also feel like that's not Nikki's style. I don't think she just wouldn't even be in the headspace to even have that thought, to be honest. My hypothesis is that Nikki ends up shooting herself. Because how do you live with this? This was like and I wish they let us know. I always need to know the timelines. How long was this occurring? Seems like this was a couple weeks, couple days. Because that montage of dates, I was like, was this just a span of like 3-4 days, or was this like 2 weeks or something? Has it been a month? I don't know if it's been a month. It seems like everything has been pretty recent and fast, but it would have been cool to see. So like, was she trapped in this state for over a couple days? Was she trapped in this state for a couple weeks? How long has she been stuck like this? You know? I feel like if it was me, my brain would be fried. I'd probably just kill myself. She feel like all her friends are there. She don't got no one else to rely on. She's not close to her papa, you know? No one's checking on her. You know, this is a crazy scene. How would she explain this to the police? I think, personally, the way, you know, it actually ends is that she ends up committing suicide. Damn. Let me talk about the spooky moments, bruh. So, like I said, like, with me, like, a lot of reasons why I can't, like, stomach scary movies is because it reminds me of that feeling of, like, seeing something in your peripheral and you look and nothing's there and you're just always on edge because you're like, I feel like something's there, but like, so the whole movie I'm like looking for that. So when he was first in the house talking to Ian and we looking out that window, I'm zooming in, I'm looking around the whole room like and then we see her silhouette move. She's outside the window. I said hell no. When she got up to like look at him talking on the phone, I said hell no. That one night when he woke up and it pans to that wall. I'm looking, I spot her immediately. I said, but I had to grab my friend. I said, hell no. Hell no. And the way she was moving, I didn't like the movements. I did not like the movements. It's something about the lack of survival instinct. Is it because is that why? I can't imagine anyone dead ass trying to go back to sleep after this. The way I would have jumped out the window, I think I would have straight up attacked her. F all of that. You was not about to be in the corner of my room tweaking. I like to watch you sleep. Now he did. I said, her in the vase. And then that whole, I didn't catch what I had to ask my friend, like, what did she say? She said, for Sandy. Nah, you not moving that fast and then go jump into bed with me. Hell nah. Parts of the movie, I don't think it was meant to be funny, but I ended up laughing. It was when he tried to slide out of bed. She goes, stay! I said, help. No. That shit was so funny. Like, are you stupid? So you already agreed to go back to sleep. Don't get out of bed now. Why you gonna get out of bed when she get in bed with you? Did you think she was gonna let you leave the bed? He said, okay. He tried to move. She screamed. He said, okay. That was insane to me. No. Just no survival instincts. The second she started tweaking at that restaurant, you should have deaded it right there. Now, obviously, it would not have been that easy because she's literally obsessed with you. But you going home, having sex with her after that craziness, insane. Staying in the bed with her after that craziness of her being in the corner, we were moving real fast. He's like, well, why are you doing that? Why are you moving like that? Maybe don't piss me off. If you don't get the fuck out of the house, I would let her have the house. I would set the house on fire. You could keep it. Nah, it was that situation, like, you come out and the second you seen that she dug your cat out the trash to set up a memorial. And once again, Ian, you strange. Off that first conversation at the music store, when we clearly see that she's in the back staring at y'all for like 3 minutes, Ian, you're facing her. So that means probably in your peripheral, you can see that she's just staring the whole time. The way you're like, no, she wasn't staring at you. The whole shift she was staring. What? Ian, you're weird. I don't think it's not a singular regular person in this town. That was strange. Oh my goodness. It was hard for me to watch just because it was so scary, but I like the plots. It was good. Like, the storytelling of it was good. It was just scary. A little too scary for me. But damn, that was good. Oh my.